evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 26th Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Gentry.
Present.
Becky McClure.
Excused.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Dick Robertson.
Present.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, move on to the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. Are there any changes to the minutes? Okay, we entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, on to department head reports. First up, Police Department, Chief Morgan.
For last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 604 people were arrested in that same time frame. 5 were operating while intoxicated, 9 were wanted on a warrant, 3 for possession of meth, 1 for possession of a syringe. Battery, 1 for auto handgun license was sent off to the state for final approval. Lebanon Police Department Sergeants Ted Bowling and Brian Williamson completed principal instructor at Armor's Court. The principal is a less lethal force option that officers can deploy from up to 150 feet. Shoots it's supposed to it'll contain oleo resin capsicum, right? So that they can find out. That was asked for in the budget last year. We have 90 days to wait for it. Detective Captain Amy Dickerson has completed banning child exploitation hosted by the National Criminal Justice Training Center. Scott Hood attended a conference in Orlando, Florida. The conference was beneficial in providing the latest legal policy and procedure finding to or operating in school environment. Hood went to that museum. Also helping out with our policies and procedures.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Morgan from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. Next up will be Fire Department, Chief Batts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 134 emergency calls of service, logged 302 training hours, performed 18 commercial pre-plans, and completed 22 commercial inspections. Last week, firefighters from Whitestown and Lebanon participated in 3 days of rapid intervention training. Training focused on removing a downed firefighter and performing firefighter CPR. The hiring process is down to the top 2 candidates. Each applicant must now complete a polygraph and perf testing. Next week, the Fire Department Instructors Conference comes to the City of Lebanon in the Boone County Training Tower. Over the course of 2 days, 100 plus firefighters will receive invaluable hands-on training. The Training Tower is hosting 3 different classes, and we're trying to add to that every year. And it's just it's a pleasure to be able to have the FDIC come to the City of Lebanon. They're using our hotels, our businesses, and our restaurants.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? No. Any questions from the public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Parks and Recreation, John Messenger.
Good evening. We are asking the community for their feedback on the next phase of Seashore Water Park. We have posted the survey on our Facebook page as well as our website, LebanonParks.org. We're also now on Instagram. Our handle is @LebanonParks_IN. So if you could take a few moments to fill that out. This will be for future, but it's a real quick survey. Won't take you 3 or 4 minutes to fill it out, and we really want everybody's input. We finally got that out right before we closed the pool, so we're getting a lot of public input. And real excited about the expansion, future expansion. We just want everybody's idea of what would be good for everyone. We've had a very busy July in the park. Seashore Water Park has been extremely busy. Days throughout the week and on the weekends are extremely busy. Our back-to-school hours are listed on our website, Facebook, and Instagram pages, and our last weekday will be a week from Wednesday, August 4th. We will remain open on the weekends throughout Labor Day, September 6th. Reason being, obviously, college kids and high school kids are going back to school. It's crazy, but they're going back August 5th. Kind of early in my eyes, but there again. I think it was Labor Day back in my days when we go back to school. There again, they're smarter kids, I guess, and that's what it is. Asphalt, pretty much everything's completed with the exception of youth football exit down at Abner Longley. Hopefully he'll get that done this week. Excuse me. Walking path along the golf course at Memorial Park. There again, that hopefully will be next week. And we're going to tear up the basketball court starting next week also. I'm going to pull it all out and resurface it. Probably won't get it coated until next year. Having troubles with getting somebody out to do that. However, I think they'll like the smooth surface, but not rearranging them. Going to put them in the same spots, but get rid of all those cracking. And we patched it up enough times. It's time to repair it. And the council was nice enough to give monies towards that, so that project will be hopefully wrapped up by next week. The lighting project, we finished planning on all the fixtures and transformers. There again, we should be doing a direct purchase here soon, and the construction plans have it in front of the Board of Works, I think, on the 9th, so we'll go forward with that. Playground project. It's out there, a really good and nice all-inclusive playground, hopefully get done this fall also. Another big project, construction should begin September or October. We've already done the direct purchase, so you'll see a lot of parks getting torn up here on a lot of construction vehicles out there. The cabin is all repaired. Log Doctors came out and did a restoration on it. Been wanting that done for quite some time, since 2008, 2009. Finally got that done, and I feel really good about the foundation, everything on it. They did an outstanding job. Looks great. If you have a chance, stop out and I'll show you the cabin. Looks good. The hot pond has been stocked along with the conservation pond at Abner Longley. We put bluegill, bass, and catfish in there, so we had another stocking of fish. They're small ones, but hopefully they'll grow and make some kids really happy. Current and upcoming programs, we've had a great turnout for the swim lessons, and they were completely full, all the age groups. Our morning lessons wrapped up last Friday, and our evening sessions will wrap up tomorrow night. Look forward to seeing everyone again next year. Our daddy-daughter dance will be held again this year on Saturday, August 28th. We will host this event on the deck of Seashore Water Park again. We had a great venue last year and everybody enjoyed it, so it's back on the deck at the Seashore Water Park. Tickets are on sale now, and prices are $20 per couple and $5 additional child. Black Box Theater will be there for some entertainment, and we hope everybody enjoy a night of dancing and fun with all the dads and daughters out there. Outside events coming up, we have the Battle of Barbecue, which I'm sure a lot will be not only eating but cooking. There again, that is held on August 14th. Come out to Memorial Park to enjoy the fun. You're Not Alone 5K Walk, first annual, and it is held August 14th in the morning. That also will benefit the Cancer Society, and all that money stays local, which is really neat. There again, 8 a.m. registration, and that will be at the Her Cabin. Youth football has started their season, so at Abner Longley, please be mindful of all the additional pedestrians and children out and about, so just be mindful of them as far as the traffic. Colonial Market Days will be held the last weekend in September, 9/24 through 9/26 in Memorial Park. So that's the north-south. They'll be coming in Lincoln Days. It will be nice. I did want to say we had a great event this last weekend. There again, back to school. Bash is what it was called. Freedom Church put it on. Lots of volunteers, free backpacks, haircuts, free entry into the pool, free food. It was just a day of giving, and love to see all the smiling faces, kids getting clothing, backpacks, just really nice. We have several volunteers out there I want to thank too. Ted Caldwell, our retired fire chief, opens and closes the conservation pond. He does that daily, and he kind of taken ownership of it. He does an outstanding job. Just want to shout out to him. And then we also have a group from ARC that comes in every Tuesday, and those guys work their tails off. They're out from trimming trees to splitting wood to painting trash cans, watering flowers. I just can't say enough about our community and how good they are at reaching out. And that's basically all I had. Any questions?
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? Any questions from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up, Engineering Department, Ken Krulik.
Thank you all for your time this evening. Engineering report, working on the stuff downtown around the trailhead or the Montgomery Ward parking lot site. You probably noticed, but the fencing is all complete. The signage has been installed. Bike racks are now complete. We are just waiting on parking bumpers to go along the landscape bed along State Road 32 that should be in at the end of the week. And then there are some decorative bollards coming in along the edges of Meridian Street because we're still having quite a bit of an issue with people driving over the sidewalk. So we want to make sure that's as safe as possible. And that will wrap that up. Looking around the city on other projects, we are in the middle of our community crossing program, our street resurfacing programs for this year. I remind everyone there are 19 different streets. I won't bother listing them all off, but you've probably seen over the last couple of days removal of curb ramps, getting ready to re-pour those. Paving will come later. We like to do all the curb ramps first so that we can ensure a nice clean edge when we get to the asphalt work. There's also been some block patching, just smaller patching programs that have been going on that started going on late last week and are still going on today and tomorrow. That's West Main Street, a small section there from Sam Ralston to Ping Drive. Ping from West Main Street down to State Road 32, that short area there right next to Ice Cream Paradise. Riley Road from Lafayette Avenue to Sam Ralston Road. And then Thomas Drive, about 675 feet east of Witt Road, a small area there that we're doing some patching. Talk about the community crossing program that we are getting ready to hit submit on our final application, which would really be for next year's program. We're proposing 10 streets. It's 10 streets, but it's a lot more in mileage. It's only 10 projects proposed for next year as opposed to 19. But we are covering some major segments like 4 miles of Indianapolis Road, from Hallbaker Road, County Road 100 East, all the way down to 400 South. And then on the other side of the interstate, Perry Worth Road from County Road 100 South to County Road 300 South. So those two in and of themselves are over 6.5 miles. So like I said, a smaller number of projects, but no less on the mileage that we're working forward. 10 projects, those total just shy of $2 million, which community crossing program is a 50-50 match. So we are asking for the max that we can ask for, which is $1 million. Well, we're $8,000 short of $1 million ask. But that is the application that is also up for council to consider and will be submitted later this week. The other streets involved, so all the streets involved is Grant Boulevard, Dale Court, Travis Drive, Perry Worth Road, Finch Boulevard, Finch Court, Acton Road, Snyder Lane, Ransdale Road, and Indianapolis Road. So a good list of projects, about $2 million there in total repaving projects. State Road 32 and State Road 39, you might have noticed the state has hung the traffic signals at that intersection. They have yet to turn them on. We're just waiting on them to get their electrical inspected so that they can, so that our friends at Lebanon Utilities can install their electric meter, and then those will be up and working. So we'll keep you posted as that moves forward. Other projects around the city, Whit Road Bridge, utility relocation work is ongoing. Those are not contractors working for us, but working for the various utility companies, getting that work out, getting those utilities out of the way for the bridge project, which is scheduled to start in September. Grant Street, the William Street Bridge is where our focus has really been. That's really a county project, but we're up to date and staying involved in that project as we can, where it ties into particularly the intersection of Ann and Williams. Just wrapping up all the sidewalk repairs today. Asphalt surface is scheduled for the end of the week, and then that bridge will be back open in time for school to open up next Thursday. And then some good news, Grant Street, the state has moved up the letting date on us. So we were not scheduled to let that until late summer of 2022 for spring construction of 2023. Now they have moved our letting date up to March 9th of 2022 in anticipation of construction in 2022 later that April season as construction begins to get started. Active living projects, still working on sidewalk, primarily along Syracuse Drive in association with Lebanon Utilities Water Main Replacement Program. So that's still ongoing there. We're also working on getting asphalt patching and possibly resurfacing that road also into the schedule as well to get that cleaned up. Big Four Trail expansion preliminary plans are complete. Rule section designs have been started, and we are working on scheduling a public information meeting for all the people affected by the trail construction. And then also happy to report that we're having a large meeting tomorrow with some of the players from around the county and local city and county governments to talk about the continued expansion of the Big Four Trail. So sort of a beginning of a conversation in anticipation of the next round of Next Level Trails. We got a large amount of money through the Next Level Trails program this year. Zionsville also got a fair amount as well. So we're kind of meeting with all the parties across the county to make sure that eventually here we can fill that gap. And given the state's support of the trail in Zionsville, Lebanon, and as well as up to Colfax, we feel confident that the state wants to continue supporting that corridor. So we're working together to figure out the best way forward with whether it be a joint application or supporting our friends in the county and other local governments to make that application. Fordyce Street, we've kind of put buying on hold. We've heard some concerns from some of the neighbors, particularly in the area between Park and Grant Street. Primarily their issues were about parking, and we're working through developing some more options that we can share with them. But given that Grant Street has moved up in the schedule, we're going to let that happen first and obviously not try to construct the whole east side of town at the same point. So we will move construction to 2023 on the Fordyce project. And then jump into our inspection department. Scott's been real busy out there since we last met. 12 SWIP inspections, 8 right-of-way inspections, 10 complaints, 4 illicit discharge inspections. Still continuing to work on mapping and inventory of our storm sewer system. And then just a few updates of projects around the city. Auburn Meadows Section 3, drainage swales are now complete, asphalt binder is down, and they're just fine grading. The next milestone is really fine grading for lot stabilization and home construction, which I believe they have 14 permits ready to be pulled for new homes in that section. Jumping across 39 to Sunbrook, lots going on there in Phase 2. The street signs are up. They're working on some fine grading and stabilization right now. Phase 3, storm sewer repairs are now complete. The next major milestone is just finishing up fine grading around the ponds and various areas around the site. Jumping to the north side of 250 North, Villa Section 1 is obviously complete and they're going through home construction, but happy to report that we are having a pre-construction meeting on Villa Section 2 later this week to get started on that section. Jumping to sort of the opposite catty corner of the city, Cedar Ridge neighborhood along Fordyce Road, all their plans are complete, agreements are in place, and they are planning a pre-construction meeting for Wednesday this week to get started right away on that project. And then other projects around the city in the business park, Building 16, they're just about ready to put their asphalt approaches in on their entry drives. New Cold is basically all vertical construction at this point. Storm sewer outlet is the next real milestone that we are tracking. Keystone Car Wash, really no changes. Building foundations going in. Autumn Trace bulk earthwork is going forward at this point. Airstream dealership is really all about vertical construction at this time. And then Pratt Storage construction on the southwest side is nearing the completion of final site grading and wrapping up that project. That's what I have.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin from the board? Anything from the public? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next up is Planning Department, Matt Reynolds.
Good evening, Board. Be brief here. The Planning Department, since the last meeting, has completed 31 building inspections. The office has issued 38 permits, including 3 new residential building permits, and making up more than half, or about half of the permits, believe it or not, this time of year, were HVAC work. Some kind of important this time, so we had 18 of those issued. The Code Enforcement Department continues to stay busy and keep everything looking nice and clean. 108 investigative activities over the last couple of weeks, primarily this time of year, overgrown grass and weeds and junk vehicle complaints. And then lastly, Derek Warren, our Deputy Director, is currently attending the National Americans with Disabilities Act Symposium in Phoenix, Arizona. This is the largest and most comprehensive available training for Americans with Disabilities Act and related disability laws. The conference includes 57 sessions on a wide range of topics presented by nationally recognized leaders and experts in the ADA and disabilities fields. The planning office is actually very excited that these conferences and events are reopening and starting up again because they provide great educational opportunities and networking opportunities for us to go and learn and to bring back that knowledge and help implement some new policies and things for our own community. So that's all I've got.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions for Matt from the board? No. Just while you're up here, I'm going to have you do Joe's report, communications as well.
Sure. For communications from Joe LePage, the work on the CSX mural on Lafayette Avenue is continuing. Due to the increased workload of Scott Trafford from Skillustrated, the final invoicing and the final draft of the mural were delayed a bit, but the final design was received by Joe this morning, and he is waiting on 3 variations of invoicing that should be provided later this week, so he'll get that information sent out as soon as he receives it. A reminder, tomorrow is the Lebanon City Market. It takes place 4 to 7 p.m. on Main Street along the Big 4 Trail. This week's theme is Community Heroes. We'll be honoring the police, fire, street, and parks department employees this week. Community development videos. Joe continues his work on creating and editing and highlighting videos that present or highlight activities within our community. The most recent one that's featured on our YouTube channel and social media is called Up in the Fair, which was highlighting the tethered balloon ride that was at the 4-H Fairgrounds last week. The video has pictures and audio and interviews with satisfied customers that got to ride it, and it turned out to be a great event, and the city is very thankful to play a part in such an endeavor and supporting that. And then lastly, Joe is currently working with a group named Civic Plus. They are a group that's helping to combat the nationwide shortage of volunteers, which is something that that impacts us locally with the events that we hold from Oktoberfest and Summerfest and things. The Small Town America Civic Volunteer Grant, it's a mouthful there. They award the 100 recipients each year, and those awards include a volunteer management module, 12 months of complimentary service from Civic Plus, and then a cash prize of award of $5,000 to $20,000, depending on first, second, and third places. So Joe's working on that application now, and hopefully is successful, so we can continue to provide some of these events that the community is known to participate in and love. So looking to try to engage some more people and get some more volunteers.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Any questions on that report? Any questions from the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, and last but not least, Street and Stormwater Department, Dave Newell.
How's everybody doing? My report's usually longer, but since Kevin goes before me, it's usually cut a little shorter. We've definitely been pretty busy trying to catch up on our mowing with all the rain we had. So we was able to actually mow Annapolis Avenue and all that stuff for the fair and make it look decent again, get all that caught back up, and hopefully we can get back on our weekly routine with the rain going away. Be nice anyway. Still on our vacant properties and stuff, or helping out with the code violations, getting those all mowed up. Been busy doing the catch basins with all the rain, keeping those clean. We have been trying to actually clean out the inside of some of those too, so we've had Eco in here helping us out. We had one problem here when they drained the water tower we found, just had roots in it, so we was able to clean that out. Had a pretty big couple of storm repairs out here on Northeast Street. You probably noticed those, and they got through those. Now they're working on a pretty big project over in Chadwick, so storm guys are definitely busy. We've had the street sweeper out cleaning the streets as well. We went ahead and ran a little extra up and down Annapolis Avenue, trying to help out with with the parade traffic coming in, or the fair traffic, sorry. Trying to keep it looking nice. Had some guys, we're trying to go around and start getting rid of some weeds in our, one example, I guess, is Annapolis Avenue coming in. They're just growing up on the sidewalks, and I think John had somebody spray there for us, because he informed me we can't spray without a license. He kind of ruined our parade, so we've been weed eating it and pulling it out by hands. We was on Sam Ralston today doing that, so had some homeowners come out and tell us they usually do it, but we're just, if it's there, we're pulling them. So let's see, they have, like Kevin covered, the block patching, so I guess I won't cover that with you again. Our next brush week will be August 9th through the 13th, so have your brush out by prefer it not to be in the road, in between the sidewalk and curbs best. Have some people that try to put it out in the road, just gets a little dangerous, having cars to veer off and stuff. We do have a meeting tomorrow for the building, around 2:30, wrap up some final stuff on that, and that's rolling around real good. So I know Brent Wheat said he'd probably be there, and I don't know if you were going to attend or not, or you don't have to. It's just wrapping up pretty much design stuff. So just to keep you guys informed, that's still rolling pretty good, and our next brush will be, like I said, August 9th through 13th, and then we'll have another one to September 13th through 17th, and then October 11th and the 15th, and we'll be rolling into leaf season then, so it's right around the corner. That's all we got.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Any questions for Dave?
Dave, is the street sweeper still out?
No, it's not out right now. We usually have it out when we do brush, and we're able to make it all the way through town. We've been talking with Kevin. We've been talking about trying to get it out a little bit more on a daily basis, but that's going to be a little bit more manpower, something we got to discuss during budget season. So,
Okay.
But we have noticed. I mean, we were filling up two 30-yard or 20-yard dumpsters a week, and now we're down to like half of one. So it's definitely effective. I mean, we definitely knocked out the debris we're picking up, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So we have seen, gains doing that. So.
Okay.
Any other questions for Dave from the board? No. Any questions from the public? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes department head reports. Next up will be old business. Just to clarify here on the agenda, these items actually should be under new business. So is there any other old business not under at the moment? Okay, new business then. First item up is a police policy change with the Lebanon Police Department. We have Chief Morgan.
We only have one this time.
Policy change request.
Request, yes.
Yeah.
This is policy 1022. It's the personal appearance standards. The way it's been for the last couple of years is the guys have been able to have a beard for 6 months out of the year. Then during the summer, they have to shave it, and it's been a ½ inch long was the requirement. What the change would be allowing them to have it all year long, but then they have to trim it shorter to a 1/4 inch, going by basically military standards on the length. So that's the difference in the policy.
Okay. Any questions for Chief Morgan on this? Again, this is kind of reflecting the the military changed this relatively recently as well.
Yeah, the length is what they have. A lot of the departments, this is new, I'm old school, I don't necessarily go with it, but a lot of departments allow beards anymore, even Whitestown and some of the others. So it's a big deal to these guys. It doesn't cost us anything.
Staying millennials, right?
Did you say a quarter inch?
Quarter inch.
Okay.
We went with what the military's allowed for some. And we do have a couple of guys who have doctor's notes that they have a skin condition, so they already have beards. So one has, they all want.
Good.
Any questions for Chief Morgan on that?
No.
Any public comment concerning police department beards? No? Okay. Do we need to have can we just approve this, Rob, or do we need to have the formal writing on it?
How significantly will it change?
I can't hear, I'm sorry.
It's not a significant change, essentially, it's just a small.
And we're also going to have a handbook that, we're going to be stricter than what this is. That'll be on my authority. This is your guys' authority allowing it, but like the hair on the neck and stuff like that, I plan on making that a no-go.
Okay. Okay, just a motion then. Any questions for discussion from the board? Dick, strong opinion on it?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. This time then, I would entertain a motion to approve the proposed policy change for the Lebanon Police Department.
I make a motion, we approve the policy change at, what is it, section 10-22, personal appearance?
Yes.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, those are approved. Tell the guys the good news. Thanks, Chief. All right, next up, no parking signage installation. This is Kevin.
Yes, thank you very much. This came about as we were doing the walkthroughs with our contractor on the paving project. We're paving, we are paving North Clark Street between Williams, West Williams, and Chicago Street. Actually, that project is blown up a little bit. You know, as we got through, there was a lot of issues with ADA compliance along that street, and we normally upgrade all the ADA curb ramps when we go through repaving a street. But we're going to expand that a little bit more and do some more sidewalk work along that corridor. And one of the comments that was brought up is that apparently there used to be no parking signs along the east side of Clark Street. And it kind of creates some issues with some of the residents that live through there. So we checked our code. It was never an official no parking zone, but we think it makes a lot of sense given the narrowness of the street to make it no parking on one side. So this is just a request to add no parking signage to the east side of North Clark Street. This is pending council approval of an ordinance that would be used for enforcement of those that signage.
Any questions for Kevin on that? Okay. I would entertain a motion then to approve the parking signage installation pending city council approval of the related ordinance.
I'll make a motion, we approve the installation of no parking signage on the east side of North Clark Street from West Williams to Chicago, subject to city council approving an ordinance at their meeting.
Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Next up, quote authorization for Chadwick.
Yeah, thank you. I guess I'm inserting myself a little bit into this process. Dave Newell's already been working on getting some quotes for this, but looking at the guidance documents that our attorneys gave us, this is something we do need you to authorize us to get quotes for. We don't think it will be over the threshold that we'll have to do a publicly invited quote. This will just be a personally telephone or email quote invitation. We can just accept those, and then we'll come back and give you the results and a recommendation on the contract. But just so that everybody knows, this is the Chadwick neighborhood. This is Grant Boulevard. Elm Swamp is just off the page over there. but there is this ditch that runs along the north side of Chadwick that is a city-maintained ditch. We have to dredge it every few years, and it's due for dredging. So I'm just asking for your authorization to seek quotes for that public work.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin on that from the board?
That ditch surrounds that holding pond area?
Yeah, if you will, holding ponds may be a loose term. It's an area that floods.
It's a very loose term.
But yes.
And that's because it's not a legal drain, like where the surveyor,
This ditch is not a legal drain. Once, I guess to put the map back up here to orient you a little bit, this is a legal drain along the east side of Chadwick, but this along the north side, don't ask me why, but it is not a legal drain like the other ditches are. That one has been maintained by the city as far back as we show records, so.
okay. Any questions from the board on that? Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to give authorization to Kevin to seek quotes for the Chadwick ditch dredging. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Easy for you to say.
I'll make a motion, we authorize Kevin to get quotes for the Chadwick ditch dredging.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from the board? Okay, move on to claims then. Would entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I make a motion, we approve the claims?
Motion to approve the claims, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion? Any public comment?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Our next Board of Works meeting will be August 9th at 5:30 PM. And City Council's up next.